Now this chapter definitely answers a lot of my concerns. Hey folks, MasakoX here. Last week, I started to delve into one of the most prominent and eye-catching Dragon Ball fan manga to have come out in recent months, or maybe even the last couple of years. And upon further research, I've discovered that the work of this French trio of Dragon Ball enjoyers have resurrected a previously made version of a story called Kakumei, but with added lore based on what we got at the end of the Dragon Ball Super anime. In essence, like Frieza, it got resurrected. Such tributes aren't anything new though. We can go back to Toyotaro's Dragon Ball AF from decades ago, as but one of many that have come over the years, and Kakumei is just the next one to have generated a buzz. Hey, I like me some fan stories, and this one grabbed me because it has something to do with angelic lousiness. And the best thing ever, dealing with consequences. Ah yes, something that Dragon Ball has been lacking about for too long. In the first chapter of Kakumei, we mostly focus though on the second round between Beerus and Goku because you gotta bring the punters in, after the Tournament of Power had concluded. The battle was a rather bombastic affair that used tons of planets in their little game, and many people in the comments noted fairly that most of those planets, or nearly all of the worlds, were most likely empty, devoid of life, hence why Goku could be so casual with them. And yes, that sort of makes sense. Shin is pretty bad at his job, and with the whole 28 planet shtick, that's logical. In the end, Goku lost to Beerus again, but it was much closer this time. But at what cost? Beerus lost his planet, Shin having to come in and fix it. And whilst that was going on, the GP calls his younglings about a threat that is bubbling up in the ether, the dreaded Universe 19 or 0, depending on how brooding you are feeling today. Then, we have the Angel Mama here step up and call out the GP for his actions. Or is there more to this? Now our review continues. But since this manga likes to dip back in time a little bit, we cut to Beerus' planet a few minutes earlier, now all fixed by Shin, and the trio are musing over their battle, with Goku here looking like he's come straight out of a Berserk manga panel. However, I'm glad that Whis is calling out both of them for this abandon when it came to their little tussle, and at least Goku apologizes for it, while Beerus is... well, what do you expect? Goku takes this all on the chin though, and Whis offers to heal the Saiyan of his wounds as a reward for understanding consequence. You see how hard this is, Shueisha? It really isn't that hard. Just tell Goku that he done goofed and get him to say sorry. Goku orders villains to say sorry all the time, so really he should be practicing what he preaches. Despite this, Goku wants to keep a reminder of his back scar to remind him of his need to train and be ready for the next battle with Beerus. Not sure about that one actually. I don't think Goku's one for scars like that. That threw me off a little bit. Kind of makes him out to be a grizzled fighter, edgy like Guts, rather than what he is, a selfish miscreant who is too happy about martial arts putting everyone he loves in danger all the time just for the sake of his own selfish desires. Did I say selfish too many times? It's because Goku's selfish. Nah, hey, stylistically it looks cool, but it doesn't really fit Goku in my opinion. Once that has been dealt with, Goku realizes that he needs to be getting back to the gathering that he and his friends had planned, and to give his family a big old hug, with Whis acting as the intergalactic taxi service. I do like the additional nod also though to Shin overdoing his job in fixing Beerus' planet, and Beerus not liking it because hey, they don't like each other, but really kitty cat? He blew up his own planet and your Kai cleaned up your own mess and for what, back chat? Hey, next time Shin, replace the flowers with catnip. He'll never bother you again. As Beerus is blustering some more, Whis and Goku head for Earth, where they then have a little chat about what they're going to do next. Well, congratulations, Goku, you helped save the universe once more. What are you going to do now? I'm going to Disneyland! But what Whis actually states is that he has to go and deal with something that is causing him concern. Naturally, since nothing usually bothers Whis, Goku has to know more. He's got to ask why and how he could help with it. So much for that that desire to go home and soothe his family's furrowed brows. Where did that go? There is a point of energy in the universe which is too strong to be anything good. Naturally, Goku wants to go there and deck it in the schnoz, but Whis tells him not to. But when the monkey presses him some more, Whis tells him to let him go. It's almost like Goku's a pestering child and Whis is the angry driver. And any second now, Whis is just going to be going, "If you say that one more time, Goku, I swear to my father that I will turn this car around!" And then that stare. Damn. I've never seen Whis nettled before, really nettled. That's terrifying. It looks straight out of JoJo. But despite this protest, Goku hangs on, despite the painful energy that the angel is coursing through his hand to get him to let go. And then what? Have him drift off into space and die of asphyxiation? Okay. In the end, though, Whis relents and realizes Goku isn't going to take no for an answer. But that simple act is enough to give me the shivers, though. I like Whis a lot, and to see him acting differently and actually showing seriousness and concern, that's a whole new level. Then the angel offers a compromise. He has to go and talk with his father, so he can't help directly. That's the thing we saw at the end of Chapter 1, by the way. But he can give Goku a button to press if he needs Whis' urgent assistance there and then, just like with Zeno's button. Wait, that reminds me of something. Surely Goku still has that button, right? Couldn't we just ask the Omni King for help right now? He'd be popped in right in front of Goku. I mean, whatever is going on with the angels, the Omni King's got nothing to do with it. He could just be there in front of Goku, and he'd be happy to help, since Goku gave him a cool tournament just now. He'd be really happy and willing to do anything. I don't think that button was a one-time only thing, right? I'm not sure. Comment below if it was the case, and if it was the case and I forgot, that's on me. So when the duo get to the point of energy, we see the gateway to Universe 0, or Universe 19, or Universe Edgyville, population... What does it matter? Whis goes on to explain this to Goku, but we then cut to the present time, which is only a few minutes later, and the mother of all angels, literally the mother of all angels, is going about her plan to undermine the GP. She claims that he got ideas above his station and tried to be as powerful as the Omni Kings despite not actually having enough power to do it, doing what he can sloppily though, banishing those that thought against him into another realm, and also exploiting the naivety of the Omni King and the King of Everything at the same time, playing everyone off of everyone else. However, the GP isn't going to deny every single thing that comes out of her mouth though, confirming that this is the Grand Priestess, aka the Angel's mother, and that what she says is somewhat accurate. He was going to tell his kids the truth, sure he was, but in the end, the truth only came back and is doing the job for him, whilst also looking badass in the process and actually making people go, "Excuse me, mommy? Excuse me, mommy?" But come on, isn't this more interesting than just having the GP talking all the time? I mean, he talks a little bit, you have to because it's the angels, but what he says is basically what I thought all along is super proper. The GP likes to act on Zeno's behalf, and this is what he did here. Universe 19 looked to be too strong for his liking, and so he took care of them behind the King's back. In 1 second, he expanded space-time. However, what that actually means is distorting time so drastically that everything within it is stretched into infinity. That's gonna hurt. You basically become temporal linguini. The vermicelli that was once the mother explains that in really grave detail, and that kind of makes the carefree act of slowing down time into something truly dark. I hadn't thought about it that way. Huh. Next time I choose powers like that in a game, I'm gonna think carefully. That being said, the mother doesn't blame the GP entirely for his behaviour in covering up this from the Omni King. The mother accuses instead the very infrastructure that the deity's code of conduct is based on. And you know what? I actually can get behind this. This is something I definitely wanted to be addressed in the fullness of time, and Kakumei here is looking into it right now. You know what, in fact, I'm actually behind the mother here. Yeah, stick it to Zeno! Yeah, Kakumei's doing it well, albeit with a little dash of Absalom. Suddenly, other angels from the deleted universes arrive, referring to the mother by her real name of Kansei. It's weird to think of them actually having proper names, but okay. The angels here recognize all their siblings, and naturally calling out Whis in particular because we know who he is, and Kus here too because girl. Then here comes the biggest twist. We see the angels and gods of destruction from universes 13 through 18 and their names, insignias, and appearances. But then the biggest twist out of all of that is, Frieza is a god of destruction. And before you ask, no, I hadn't seen Kakumei when I wrote my two-parter about the same outcome, which you can check out up top, by the way. Frieza takes a personal interest in Whis, explaining that he wasn't going to be sitting around and doing nothing, which is exactly what he did in the original story after the tournament and what he is currently doing in Super, having not lifted a finger. instead actually going on about his idea of bringing down the deities from within. Cool! Remembering stuff from Super that he was gonna do. And any old school Frieza fans will like this. How did he get to be the God of Destruction from Universe 18? Was he training? Was he worthy of it? No. He just killed the incumbent, in typical Frieza fashion, with a death beam. I mean, of course he would. Yeah, I think this actually makes sense for the old Frieza. He was justifying his actions by saying that the old DoD was not fit for purpose, that he didn't agree to the desire to bring down the system from within, and Frieza did want to, so Frieza took matters into his own hands. But Whis doesn't care though. He says that, Frieza's blind to the true meanings behind his actions, that he's just acting on impulse, not understanding the plan of Kansei. But when Frieza asks Whis where Goku is, the angel suddenly can't sense him, and why's that? Here's why! Goku got caught, and so Goku's not going to be doing anything for the moment. I kind of like that, actually. I mean, why should he get involved? All of this was just his own mortal arrogance getting in the way. Perfect. The three deities wish to abolish the hierarchy, and they feel that stepping on the toes of the GP is the first step in their plan. And since he acts so all high and mighty and neutral all the time, he'll probably just stand there and do nothing whilst they go about their business. Well, this time he ain't gonna. He shows his true colours and uses all his power to freeze these assailants in time. But not before Kansei says that they're about to start a universal war, where everyone, mortal or angel, has to fight for a side and bring down the system. With the power of crystals, the GP, or Kaishi as he's called by Kansei, stops time again. But only for 2 years this time, not for infinite. A drop in the bucket on the godly level. And as they try to contain the enemies, the supreme Kais of each universe and Capito, for some reason, are called to aid the angels in their next mission, whilst we cut back to Earth, Chi-Chi being upset that Goku hasn't arrived yet. But Chi, be fair on Goku. He's a little tied up right now. Gohan then senses something significant. That today is beautiful! Bit of a switch there. But here comes the real twist, actually. He sees something in the sky, as does Jiren, Hit, Caulifla, with plenty of fan service to boot, as well as her Saiyan posse, and many other fighters that we like from other universes that actually get acknowledged in the story, Toriyama. What we see is a giant dark orb in the sky, Kaishi talking to the Omniverse, saying that an evil entity had attacked him and his children, and that a war will start when the crystal spell is broken. Everyone will have to pick a side, be ready in 2 years' time. The last panel is Goku, also frozen in time. So that means he won't be getting home to do any more training. So the chapter ends. All in all, this chapter was mostly talking, but it did enough to lay down the premise for the entire first arc here. The frozen angels are mad and wish to bring down the angelic order. Fair enough. I get that. The art also has calmed down a little bit, to be a little more in keeping with the archetypal tone of Dragon Ball, but it still stands out from its original counterpart enough to make it unique. It stands on its own feet. And yeah, that actually goes towards the paneling. That's leagues above the actual manga. One thing that Toru doesn't seem to do is experiment with composition, overflowing panels, trying to use the characters to make things look significant rather than just having squares. He doesn't even really do double pages that much. Here, it feels more flowing and less like a series of images, and maybe more like a story unfolding, which just so happens to be still. That makes that more engaging. My concerns about the edginess are lessened a bit, but they are still there. It feels a little heavy for a Dragon Ball manga still, but at least what has been said I understand. I get the gist of Kansei and her children's actions, and while they might feel a little peeved, it's true. The hierarchy does need rejigging, and I even like the idea of seeing the GP cracking under pressure a little bit, showing his true colours. I mean, granted, I don't believe the original character model to be capable of that, but for the sake of this particular story, I am glad that we are seeing a semblance of what he had been said to do in the past, that he could be quite dark and desperate, acting on his own volition. That's pretty cool. We are being seen something rather than told something. And I also feel that 2-year freeze in time is actually quite fair and reasonable. If he were able to freeze time for any longer, or maybe permanently, that would be rather broken for the instancy that it was. It's long for us mortals, but to angels, 2 years is nothing. That's like seconds to them. It's all a matter of perspective, really. Goku acts in keeping with his own model here, except for the whole back wound memento stuff. But since that's mostly kept under his gi, that's not really a major deal. Just something worth pointing out. In any case, now that the manga has some time to calm down after the intense battle we saw in the opening part, I truly feel that Kakumei can stretch its legs somewhat, getting into the meat of its story that it wants to tell. Am I curious? Yeah. Am I hype? I need to wait and see. I am invested in the story, but it hasn't gotten me stoked. It does tick the right boxes for me though, in the angel department. But what did you folks think? Do you feel that the story has gotten into its groove? What else would you want to see covered in the build-up towards the main event, that intergalactic universal war? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I will see you in the next video. Catch you later!